Bitcoin and Ethereum, what's his next move? Let's find out in the charts right here, shall we? Oh my goodness, Bitcoin has dumped all the way down to $51,000 mark. We're going to talk about what to do, what to trade in today's episode. Yeah, I actually got a phone call asking me whether or not to buy at the top levels of Bitcoin, and I was like, no. And I'll tell you today where to put your trade in today's video. So yes, it's going to be a fun one or a short one because I'm still under the weather, and I might cough up a lung in today's episode because I am still suffering from the cold. And tomorrow I will be traveling again. Yes, I came back just to get a few things done here in Dubai, but this was my last trip for a very long time, hopefully. And then yeah, I'm going to be here in Dubai, so back to a regular schedule, hopefully. Assuming that, nothing else crazy happens, but yeah, I don't think so. I think I'll be here for quite a long time, and yeah, I'm looking forward to a more scheduled approach, right, to these shows. And yeah, a little bit less alcohol. If you guys have been watching my Instagram, I've been went a little bit overboard there in London, but hey, I had some fun. All right, so alrighty, so let's get on with the show. But before we do, remember, this is not financial advice. This is trading entertainment. Please do your own research before putting any money into the market. Okay, let's get on with it. All right, so yes, believe it or not, I did get a phone call, a message, right about here, right at that level, right about this level right here, as we were like turning around here, and I'm like, do I buy here? Do I go along here and buy Bit? I'm like, no. What are you smoking? Even though you don't see any kind of like on the 4 hour, do you see what's it called? Divergence? No, I don't see any divergence there. And do you see any divergence down on our side? Nope. So why was this thing? Why does it mean that this thing was going to go down? Well, I was looking at the shorter time frames, and it was clear that here, if we go down to the shorter time frames on the 5 minute, let's go to 15 minute. Yeah, so we're on a 15 minute. It was clear that price action was going to take out these levels right here at the $51,080 level, because there's like not a lot of. Do you see a lot of wicks here? There's no wicks all the way up. And that is like, oh, I swear I'm going to put my stop loss. And wicks and tails love to be eaten. Stop losses like to get triggered. So there it is. Then we were starting to M out here. You can see, as I looked at the chart, here, let me just auto fit that. You can see we're starting to M out a lot here. And yeah, once we broke this M, waboosh, and then down she went, obviously, to break this level. Now, if you want to buy here, you can buy with a leverage position and take it to liquidation, but only a small amount. Make sure that your liquidation, when you lose your liquidation, you're only going to lose 5% of your total portfolio. And I would suggest maybe even waiting for the 61.8 to nibble in, right, the half of your position, right, and maybe add more at the 78.6 right here as this thing, if this thing rolls over, just to test this thing, and then go for liquidation, because this thing might break that level. The price might break the 50,500 level and then reverse. So just to be so that you don't get the stop loss. And yeah, you could take a position with liquidation as your choice, as your stop loss, right? And the bonus thing about doing that on Bybit only, the bonus of using the liquidation price is that you are not liquidated at the price on Bybit. So let's just say that there's some crazy fat finger, right? Because they're not selling actual Bitcoin. A crazy fat finger causes the price to break down to like, I don't know, $30,000 really fast in one 5-second candle, 5-minute candle. But the actual price on Bitcoin does not go that far. It goes only to like the 49,000, and then it doesn't go any further than that, right? Well, if you did a 10x, right, that's not you're not liquidated, even though the price actually printed on the exchange $30,000. Why is that? Because they don't liquidate you based on the price on the market, on their market, based on the price on the real spot market. So that's the advantage of using a liquidation on Bybit, not Femex. Femex is different, right? And if you want to trade on Bybit, you can head over there at bybit.davincij15.com and over to Femex at davincij15.com. Now, Femex does have its own advantages. It allows you to go short and long at the same time, whilst Bybit so far does not. At least not that I'm aware of. All right, let's head over to Ethereum. Ethereum did the same thing. We look to see if you can get in just below these wicks here. Don't think we've already made the move, so I don't think we're gonna get back down there. But who knows? If we go to the hourly, there could be a chance that this thing, the Hail Mary, does work out for you. Let's just go down to a shorter time frame. But yeah, it did go for the stop losses, which are way back there. But right here, all these stops, all of these were clearly going to be broken, and this one over here was another one that broke. It would be nice for you to get into a trade there. Might be a little difficult, but you know what? V bottoms love to be tested, so it won't surprise me if we come back to it. So just play from the position of strength and wait for that a return, even to the 61.8, if not the 78.6, for you to get into an entry with Ethereum. Should it go higher? Just use your fibs again, see if we can get into that trade at whatever level that it goes higher to. Okay, I'd be concerned about entering a long position here, and I will add to my long position should we come down into that level, because I've already have a long position on Ethereum. Once again, I do have a long position. Before I close off, I forgot to mention that I do have a long position, which I mentioned in the group. I was looking for, and I got in at 49,200 on this dump here, because I was like, okay, this thing is definitely not going to make it easy for us people to get up. It wants to go higher, so it's not going to make it easy for people to get in. So I was like, okay, I'm looking to get in at a break of a wick and down there, and I did. And so it went further down, but I was just to liquidation as well. And so now there it is. Now we're at a lot higher on $1 million position. So yeah, looking for another to add to my position. Should Bitcoin come back and test, should it break these levels down here, that would not be good. 49,000, it would not be positive, not be end of the world, but not be good. The 49,200 level is close to where my entry level is. And then we could see prices break down a little further, but I believe that the 48,000-ish areas right here where I have these resistance will hold. This will hold. There's a lot of traffic here, so this will hold. It'll be difficult for price action to break through, so that's why price 10x to liquidation is most likely the best thing to do at that point. Looking to add, should we break down in here and then see if there's a bounce coming? If I could, I'm going to really drill down on the lower time frames and wait for the sufficient evidence to say yes, we're turning around, and then I'm going to add to my trade at that level. Okay, let's head over to the dominance. Yeah, the dominance is heading straight to where I thought it was going to go to. Looks like we're going to probably retest this So it's probably going to retest this trend line and then dump again further. And look what the results will be. I mean, this thing was the IDX was at 900% when I first saw it. And I made a huge error. And I'm going to share this error with you in my little lady strategy. And, you know, you just got to be careful. What I accidentally had done is sold everything at this price and not half. And look at that. Look at all that wasted money. Waboosh. It's not the end of the world because this is not sustainable, right? So it's going to be coming back down. You should anyone who's thinking, if you had so much of the thought to buy here, I want you to unsubscribe from my channel right now. Just kidding. But do not buy up here, right? I don't care. I don't care what the fundamentals are. It could be like Donald Trump is buying this IDX. It doesn't matter. This is not sustainable. This is going to crash. And it's going to come all the way back to where it started from before this is over with. There's a high probability. Now, there's chances, yes, it's like a 1% chance that this thing continues higher, and the 99% chance that this thing's going back down. There are coins that have done that, gone vertical and never came back until like many years later, but but it was very few and far between, right? So don't bet on this, right? Don't bet on this because it's a low probability bet that that's going to continue higher and see more profits from here. The odds are, right, we're going back down to where we came from, because there's like no W here on the daily. Well, maybe there is a little tiny one, but man, it was like so tiny that it's not even worth noticing, right? So I don't know. I don't see how this is not going to this is going to continue higher. I think it has to come back down, and you know, break a lot of hearts. Basically, a lot of people cried, right, as they they lose a lot of money because they bought up here, and they weren't watching the show. Okay, thank you all for watching. Right, I appreciate it. I'm gonna go on to questions and answers. And just remember, right, just stick with Bitcoin, right? Yeah, you can get into the alts, but make sure you do the little lady strategy, because the little lady strategy gets you into Bitcoins, right? So it helps you sell into Bitcoins. So that price, all those green charts were Bitcoin. And that chart that we saw, right, that was priced in Bitcoin. And so you'd be getting paid in a currency, right, that's real, here to stay, and you need to be a part of it. Cheers.